Hello, welcome back to Führerreich. So someone had mentioned that we might want to send troops to Turkey to help them out. I don't think that's going to be a problem. They share no border with the Soviet Union and have... I don't know, I don't think they have a propensity for naval invasions. I don't think the Soviets do either, so I think we're going to be fine there. What we need to focus on is Finland and whatnot over here. Do we have anything... No, we don't need mobilization speed at the moment. We don't need factory conversion, do we? No, I think we're doing fine with that, but we can do war bonds, which I think we will do. For the reduction in consumer goods, war bonds a historical thing. Of course, a historical phenomenon. Very, very popular in the United States, though not only, of course. Let's reduce the speed, and of course we've got the tanks here ready. Under Rommel. Why did I put Rommel in charge of the tanks in the, the kind of difficult terrain that you might ask? Yeah, I made a mistake there. Rommel does not have a history of doing especially well in with tanks in difficult terrain. I am, of course, referring to the North Africa campaign where he got fairly famous despite literally, like, stumbling into every success he had. Let's try to grab this stuff before they can actually defend it. We don't want to have a fight across the strait. And for some reason we've got no music anymore. We had music at the beginning. I also did ask question whether or not, or ask the question whether or not you would like me to go back on to the non-NATO symbols, or if you wanted me to keep on NATO, and I actually saw no answers, which to me means you guys don't really care. And that's good, because I prefer the NATO symbols, honestly. They're just way too, like, they're much clearer than anything else. An X, infantry. The tanks, they're very clear. There's like a circle like this. An oblong circle, and then a line, and the thickness of the line determines how heavy the tank is. So no line is light, normal line is medium, and extremely thick line, dummy thick line, if you will, it means that it is a heavy tank. Modern tanks, I believe, have another line, which is somewhere in between the two, which is quite distinct on its own as well. It's better than the silhouettes of the tanks, which I find... While some of them are quite distinct, like for example heavy versus light is distinct, but medium and modern isn't all that distinct in my opinion, just at a glance. Alright, let's turn this up actually, because it's very low. We've got more troops coming towards the 6th Army. Oh, and also someone did point out that I was wrong the second time, and I was correct the first time before I corrected myself. South is Süd. I probably pronounced that in a very strange way because I'm not German, but yes. It's not Süd, it's Süd. Which makes sense because that's roughly how you pronounce it in Norwegian as well. We've got French Republic troops coming to Tallinn. So that means they just sent volunteers over to the Baltic SSR. They've also sent volunteers over to Russia. Or the Soviet Union. How come you have not joined us, Finland? Honestly, it's fine, because I don't want to start that war until a bit later into the year. Or I don't want to start that fight. I don't want to necessarily have to fight in winter in Finland. Generally a bad idea. The Russian Republic would like to sign a peace deal. Or a non-aggression pact, I mean. Yes, please. I appreciate that. See, Guderian. His tanks are doing work. There's one idle, though. Airplanes. The Soviets have sent an absurd amount of airplanes to the Baltic... The Baltics? Oh, the Baltic states. Yeah, they've sent an absurd amount of airplanes to the Baltic states, which means we need to counter that with an absurd amount of airplanes of our own. Which should be no problem, because we have we have a near infinity of, or a near infinite supply of BF-109s. A beautiful plane to fly in flight sims because of the way the cockpit is shaped, in my opinion, and the way the gun sight is mounted. Also, I adore the simplicity of the flaps, I believe it was, on that plane, while like American planes, I believe, and British planes of the same period are a bit more complex to fly. That being said, the BF-109 is like an extremely simple machine, I think. In terms of like, is that a Focke-Wulf 190? Looks like it, or it could be a. That could be. That's a Romanian flag at the back there. That could be a Lend-Lease, but no. I was looking for volunteers, but yeah, that could be a Focke-Wulf 190 or one of those Russian planes, like a Lag or something. That's a Russian plane there. That's a Yak, I think. Yak 3. Oh, and also I think one of the things I preferred about the BF-109, but I might be wrong on this one, was that you didn't have to crank the landing gear, which you had to on some planes. But that might have just been because my landing gear was injured. I know for a fact that the Spitfire does have a hand crank, but that might just only be for emergencies. Called the Republic of Hungary in, so now that war... Oh, sorry, no, Hungary is now just sending more troops then to help us out. We're still waiting for the Ruthenians, or the Belarusians, to get called in. It's a bit of an awkward position, that, with how we have to wait for our allies to call people in. National Republic of Finland has refused our call for them to join our war. I didn't call them in. Has dangerous borders against enemies. Oh, I've actually never seen them use that argument for not joining a war before. Interesting. Well, they have no focus tree to speak of. They might have decisions that allow them to join or fight the Soviets, and the Soviets might be able to fight them, or like start a war with them. But that actually kind of messes up our plans a little bit, because I wanted to fight through here as well. So I don't want to mass too many of our troops on this front here. There come the Belarusians. Let's double check that all our tank groups are active. This one is not. Right? No, it isn't. Let's mass them all in one place and push for Vitebsk. Let's see, ownership of Hamburg is done. Let's see, production efficiency cap, but also consumer goods factories. We've got the war bonds to sort of counteract that, I suppose. Let's do Volksdeutsche Jugend, which is like basically the Hitler Youth here, I suppose. Which takes us down some of these things as well, which give monthly population and supply consumption and stuff. Or Anglo-German military... No, let's do this. Let's keep going until we potentially can get an alliance with Britain, eventually. Like, let's do that stuff before the Brits can, in theory, try to do anything that would, you know, cause troubles between us, like getting involved with any of our business here. Like, we don't want to get hostile relations with them before we can do the stuff that causes us to get friendly relations where they can't break the relations and stuff. Do the Soviets have any tanks? I haven't seen any tank divisions, which means we probably don't need to go for hard attack at the moment with the Panzerfaust and stuff. That's a Panzerfaust 30, yeah. We probably don't need to go for that yet, so we can probably go for something like... oh, this stuff. Recon Company and Engineering Company is good. Our standard infantry division is good. It's not optimal, as a lot of people will not hesitate to tell me. I know. I'm gonna set it up to combat with 20. And we need to establish air superiority again. Belarus has one airplane, or airport, no airplanes in it. We can't send some there though, because it's a puppet of one of our allies. Apparently, let's send some to Lithuania then. Yeah, we still need a lot more planes in the air here. We want to get those planes up as soon as possible so that we can start shooting down theirs at a rate faster than ours are getting shot down, so that we can cause an imbalance which is going to snowball in our favor. Call the Slovak Republic in, thank you. Their airplanes do look a lot older than ours, and oh, these ones look a little bit more modern. Lag 3 there. They got some I-16s and stuff. I-15, what is that? Don't think I've ever heard of the I-15 before. I'm guessing that's a biplane. We're nearing the point where we establish air superiority. It's going to be hell for me to like reassign all these guys later on, but we're going to have to do it. So this is contested right now, which means, I mean, they have more planes than us in the air on air superiority missions than us. You can see 1,600 here, 2,250. We're going to probably... yeah, we're going to need a couple more. We don't need too many more, I don't think, on this this place here. I want to sort of rely on our fighters being a little bit better than theirs, or us having a bit more of the good fighters than theirs. Hopefully we can get some Wolf fighters there as well. And then I want to keep a relative balance so that we actually shoot them down, because if we make a total imbalance, what happens is that the enemy will instead choose to withdraw their fighters than keeping them in the field. Which just means that they're going to shift to somewhere else, and then I need to shift them again. A few months ago, a Swedish farmer, Albert Johansson, had discovered a corpse of a man. Oh, it's the bogman or whatever. By his home in Boxten. Local authorities had discovered that the corpse was at least several centuries old by the time our own experts arrived to assist in their research. Further examination of the Boxten man has shown that he was most likely a Christian priest who lived sometime around the 13th century, the tail end of the Christianization of Scandinavia. Despite his holy position, it seems that he had been murdered by the local people of medieval Sweden, in what we can only assume to be a final desperate attempt to save their pure Germanic culture from the corrupt close of Christianity. The Norse Swedes of the region beat the priest to death and finished him off with a stake through his heart. Probably not the exact same man I'm thinking of then. This ferocity and passion of these ancient Germanic people must be looked upon as an example to follow for all future Germans who wish to protect their culture and nation from foreign corruption. Best of luck to a great scientist. Imagine fighting this and France at the same time. No thank you. See, they have far more troops than us here, but we have a lot of subject nations, or allied nations as well, that are helping out. Yeah, these guys aren't actually assigned to an attack plan. That sort of makes sense then, that we're not making much progress. And what about the tanks? Running out of fuel. Probably should, yeah, keep them held up here. Do not attack with them. Don't have any tanks exercising, we do not. And we don't have any submarines exercising, we do not. Let's set our submarines to raid Soviet shipping. Also, let's set these guys to, let's see, what are they doing? They're not assigned to any particular squadron. Oh, sorry, any particular... Oh, shit, these are... yeah, they're tactical bombers. Oh my god, they have great range. They're not assigned to any particular army, was what I was going to say. Let's set up... Actually, let's set them up over here. To bomb Soviet shipping in the Baltic Sea. This is going to consume a lot of oil. All the activity of our airplanes right now is just making hell on our on the supply situation, and we're actually, yeah, we're winning this now. We have air superiority. Don't need to push anymore for higher air superiority there now. Doing so would again only deter the enemy from actually assigning planes. We need aluminium. We're not going to trade with the French Republic. Let's trade with the United Kingdom. Why not? And rubber, that's for... We have a lot of guns. We don't need to like ramp up any gun production, but rubber we need that for the planes, which we still have plenty of. Also need it for the mechanized, which we also have a lot of, and the motorized, which we also have way more than we need of. Oh my god, and also the Baltic SSR has collapsed, and we got a bunch of guns and stuff. Excellent. Yeah, they're probably not going to want to fight, even if we do improve relations and stuff. The British have accepted our proposal. Britain has agreed to participate in a military exercise with us. Both sides will hopefully gain much needed experience in modern warfare from this. It also seems that the British may be interested in further cooperation with our nation. Hell yeah, dude. Heavy industry trade agreement. Trade is the #1 indicator for peace between nations. The British should be dependent on German industry to survive, while we too can benefit from their well-developed naval industry. Yes, please. Alright, where are the submarines? There. Okay, so we've got one that's exercising. Please do not do that anymore, because you're gonna just guzzle up the oil. I'm not even gonna deploy them, I don't think. So I want to save that oil. We could, in theory, deploy them to the Baltic Sea, as I mentioned. I'm unsure if 200 naval bombers will consume more fuel for less effect than... officers and men from both nations have arrived in Germany for the Anglo-German military exercise. Both sides will be put under pressure as their soldiers, misspelled there, but that's fine, vehicles and officers are tested in mock combat exercises. Great War gave hint to the power of combined arms, but it will have to be shown in those, if those lessons stuck. Okay, thank you for that land doctrine then, Britain. Or land doctrine bonus. Let's hold these guys actually, and yeah, let's hold them. And let us have a look at... Oh, we actually have more, or a new version of naval bombers ready here. We have enough of those, I think, so let's stop producing the old ones. We have new close air support. We probably have enough close air support as well. Let's do it like that. Oh, and we can probably just even further reduce the production of the BF-109 because we're producing a lot of Focke-Wulf 190s now. Again, much more expensive to produce. Let's get rid of the Kar 98K because we've got the MP38 equipment coming out. Increase support equipment and guns because those are running a bit low. Reduce light panzer production because we have just way too many of those. Increase motorized a little bit. Focke-Wulf 190 a little bit. Medium tank a whole lot. Oh, sorry, that's the old medium tank. Never mind. Let's get rid of that one. And I think I'm finding the balance now, but we still have 6 more factories to use, so I'll actually I'm gonna reduce the light tank even more, increase this a bit more, and I'm guessing start this production. There we go. Okay, I'm thinking we should relax the assault up here. Darren as well, relax all that. These guys, I think, I'm not sure if we should keep this going or not, because we're using a lot of manpower in pushing on them right now. I kind of think we need to pick very concerted, very like deliberate assaults to make, and not a just wide front assault like we're doing right now. Let's see, do we have any leftover armies? Yes, we do. We have the one on Ukraine, which we probably don't need at all, and we can reassign that one over here. That way we can narrow down this front a little bit. In fact, I might actually just set up like a field marshal front. Hold on. Actually, no, because then the tanks get assigned there as well, and I don't want that. I want those to be manually controlled and massed in certain areas. This area here is very annoying. Just gotta push over here, and then there's a river here. You can't push over this. And you can push down here. Let's do this. Extend that like that. And then reduce these guys down to the point where they only to actually get Guderian off the front line. But yeah, so that they're only concerned with this little pocket here. And then let's mass Guderian's tanks right here. Have them do a full and hard push in towards... Actually, let's... No, sorry. Let's go here first. Hard push down towards the support, which I'm not sure what it's called. And try to cut them off. They have a lot of troops on that port there. But if we can take that, we can hold this and encircle these guys. I'm guessing we won't be able to take it with the greatest of ease, but we'll try. No need for specialized or special forces at the moment. I'll do some air doctrine just because we are probably going to end up with too much experience anyways. Britain refuses our trade deal. Oh no. Okay then. Well, so we tried. We tried to be to maintain peaceful and cordial relations. We did our best. I wonder if that also means that we can't do the next one. One of the following must be true. French Republic does not exist. Has national spirit, English naval industry trade deal. Yeah, so we can't do this one because we didn't succeed on this one. So I got very lucky in the fact that I got this far down. But all good things must come to an end, I suppose. Let's do the Thule-Schutztruppe, aka the not SS. These guys have no air mission assigned. I guess I'll assign them to Camp Regiment here. And we no longer have air superiority, which means the enemy has assigned not that many more planes, honestly. Let's get one on interception here, and let's get a couple more bombers. Actually, let's start setting up the strategic bombers. They're gonna guzzle up a lot of fuel, but we want to have them bomb the infrastructure that leads to Moscow and this region, because doing so is going to reduce the speed at which they can repair stuff over here. And also reduce the amount of supplies that can flow out from the capital. And after we've bombed the infrastructure to the point where it is no longer that effective at repairing lost factories, we then start bombing the factories, because then of course they can't repair them. We have way too many enemy troops, friendly troops stationed in this region, which is messing up our supply situation here. It's one of the problems with fighting Soviet Russia with a lot of allies. It's not easy to actually control the way you want to fight the war. It's one of the reasons I wanted to have Finland as a front as well, so that the enemy, our friends, place their troops on a wider front. Wide is Norway. That's not Norway, that's something else. It's Latvia. Wait, what? Okay. Yeah, as you see here, we're basically struggling for supplies all across the board. Because of all of the troops that have funneled into this region. What we need, actually, is this state here, so that we can build up the ports here, so we can ship in supplies through this region. So hold on. Yeah, that is not controlled by the Latvian Republic, that's controlled by the Polish-Lithuanian Federation. Let's see, so... Hold on, no, you're not actually controlling that though. What? So the color we're seeing is that of the Latvian Republic and... Sorry, the Polish-Lithuanians, and the actual controller is the Latvian Republic, apparently. Either way, we now control this, which means we can now set up the ports there. Or the naval bases. And the infrastructure. I'm just gonna, like, mega improve. Hoping that we can get some supplies in through here. So yeah, let's replace this one. We are not actually using mechanized yet, so we don't really need to worry about setting up one line and then, you know, waiting for it to build up and stuff. Like, or having dual lines and stuff. We don't need to worry about that. The Kampfregimente was too autonomous and disorganized to be a reliable defense force for Germany. The Truppe were created by Admiral Dressler to be his own loyal force. Immune to the influence of ambitious officers, their recent expansion though has left many questions about their role in the German armed forces unanswered. Whoever is writing these events needs to learn the difference between there and there. Two proposals have been suggested for the TST. The first is that the TST should lead our army in offensive operations using their thorough trainings and skills to achieve decisive results. The other proposal is to have the TST manage the internal security of our nation and occupied territories, eliminating the opposition and keeping our troops in order as needed. So that's basically the supporting roles or the divisions. Since we're getting a lot of mechanized right now, I'm actually thinking of going TST. Oh, this is so good, but yeah, I'm actually gonna go with the TST divisions. Keep them on frontline operations. So we don't get this stuff, which is the internal police stuff. And then I'm gonna go with the divisions, which puts them in our our actual frontline troops. We're going with a very, very mechanized and very, very armored military force here, which is not very normal for the Second World War. Not even Germany, which has the reputation of being such a force, was actually such a force. Yeah, we are actually at the end of the episode, so I want to say thank you so much for watching. Once again, this has been fun, and it always is. If you're interested, you can find my Twitter, my Twitch, my Discord, or our Discord, the community Discord, as well as my Patreon in the description down below. You can find the mod as well in the description, as well as any other relevant info you might want. If not, of course, I'm available in the comments. And that is about it. Let's have a look at casualties real quick. We've taken almost 1 million collectively, but so has the enemy. We've only taken 365,000, and the enemy here has taken, or the Soviet Union has taken 885,000. Most of our casualties are from the Russian Republic, which technically doesn't count, because that's not us. But yeah, our enemy is actually suffering heavily, but I believe they've got a spirit here, which has given, the Great Patriotic War, which has given them a lot of recruitable population. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.